AITA for not telling my friend's girlfriend that I'm straight? So, I just need to know if I did something wrong because everyone except two of my friends think I'm in the wrong. I, 23F, met my three friends in my first year of university. Let's call them Abby, 24F, Ben, 24M, and Charles, 25M. We were inseparable all 4 years, and since we graduated just over 2 years ago, we've met up once a month for dinner or some kind of activity.
Partners have always been included if they want to.
Abby was with her girlfriend for almost 3 years, but they broke up 3 months ago, and Ben's girlfriends never last longer than 2 weeks, so he doesn't bring them around. However, about 8 months ago, Charles started dating Danielle, 29F. They met on a dating site, and initially we thought she was nice, but that she seemed a little old for our chronically immature friend. But they seemed happy, and she started joining our hangouts 5 months ago. Personally, I don't date much, so I've never brought anyone to our hangouts until Saturday night. About 4 months, I started seeing Jamie, 25M. Jamie's real name is also a popular unisex name. I decided I wanted him to meet my friends, so after our dinner in July, I texted the group chat, me, Abby, Ben, and Charles, and asked if it would be cool if my new boyfriend Jamie joined us. Everyone was excited and couldn't wait to meet him. Anyways, we went Saturday night, and Jamie and I were the last to arrive. Everyone else was just waiting in the front area of the restaurant waiting for our table to be ready. I introduced everyone, and then Ben asked me about a hobby project I've been working on. Meanwhile, Jamie is making conversation with the others. I think everything is going great until the hostess shows up and asks if we're waiting for one more. We say no, and then she goes, "Oh, your reservation is for 6. Did someone cancel?" We looked around, and that's when we noticed Danielle was gone. Charles says she must have gone to the bathroom, but he'll wait for her and come to the table when she comes out. 10 minutes go by, and still no Charles or Danielle. Jamie and Ben are deep in conversation, so Abby and I decided to go to check on them. When we get out there, Charles is knocking on the bathroom door, and no one is answering. Charles tells us that he called and texted Danielle, and she's not answering, and he's worried something's happened to her. Abby's a nurse, so she went into the bathroom while I waited with Charles. She came out and told us no one's in there. So now we're all worried. Charles calls Danielle again, and this time she picks up. We could tell they were having some kind of fight, so Abby and I went back to the table to tell Ben and Jamie that we should probably leave. Before they could even stand up, Charles came to the table and told us to sit down. He said Danielle went home, and if she was going to be this way, he wasn't going to let her ruin his night. He refused to tell us why she left or what she was mad about. We have a good time, but was still kinda awkward with Danielle not being there. After we pay the bills, Charles asked Ben for a ride home, since Danielle drove him. So we went out to the parking lot, and Abby's parked the closest, so she was gone before everything got worse. I parked way out in the back next to Ben, so the four of us are walking all the way out when Ben said, "Isn't that Danielle's car?" Sure enough, Danielle is parked a couple of cars down from mine, and she was just sitting in the driver's seat. When she finally noticed us, she got out and slammed the door and started coming towards us, screaming at Charles.
She was screaming at him about me.
She called me a manipulative whore, among other things. I didn't really know what was going on, so Jamie and I just left. Ben said he stayed for almost 45 minutes in his car waiting for Charles in case Danielle left him there. He's also confused about what happened. So yesterday morning, Sunday morning, Abby asked me because she heard from Ben about the fight and wanted to see what I knew. She's my roommate. Obviously, the three of us were still clueless. Until around 11 a.m., when Charles called me. I put the phone on speaker so Abby could hear, thinking it was just going to be him ranting. Only it wasn't. Charles was calling to tell me that Danielle wanted an apology from me because I didn't tell her I was straight. I guess she assumed I was gay like Abby because I've never brought men around before. I asked how she didn't know when I said I was inviting my boyfriend. I used boyfriend and he/him pronouns in the text chain. Charles said he just used the word partner because he tries to be inclusive. I told him that I'm not going to apologize because he didn't make it clear Jamie's a boy when I did. That's his fault, not mine. That's when Abby and I heard Danielle start yelling in the background. Next thing we knew, she took the phone and started yelling that I was a manipulative whore who lied on purpose and that I'm trying to steal her man. She just kept yelling at me until I hung up. Then she texted the group from Charles's phone. At least it's safe to assume it was her. That Charles will no longer be associating with us because I'm an evil bitch. Ben had no idea what was going on and called us. The three of us decided that it was Charles's fault for not making it clear, but Jamie was a boy and that none of this is my fault. However, Ben thinks that I should apologize to Danielle for not making my sexuality clear. A number of other mutual friends have reached out since yesterday afternoon, telling me that I need to apologize and writing nasty comments on all of my Instagram posts that include pictures of all four of us. None of them refuse to listen, and all just say that I'm in love with Charles and that I'm a homewrecker trying to steal him. Not sure why I would do that while I'm in a relationship, but whatever. Or that I lied because I'm with a lesbian and never corrected Danielle. I didn't know she thought I was gay. I'm assuming that Danielle is telling everyone that I made a pass or something, but when Ben and Jamie heard that, he burst out laughing because everyone who knows me knows that Charles and Ben are more like annoying old brothers to me than anything else. Now, I don't know if Charles has a thing for me or not, but in the 6 years I've known him, he's never made any kind of pass or romantic advance, so I doubt it. This is a throwaway because Charles follows my main, and I want to avoid getting in a fight with him or Danielle on Reddit.
So I need to know.
AITA for not telling Danielle that I'm straight before now. Should I apologize for not making it clear?
So,
just a brief update that is making things clearer. I just got off the phone with one of my friends who is also friends with Charles, and I asked her to tell me what they're saying about me. Apparently, Charles asked me out first year, and I said he wasn't my type. I don't remember this, but at the time I would have been 17 while he was 20. Yes, I skipped a grade. I just turned 23 at the beginning of July, and Charles turns 26 in 3 weeks, so he's almost a full 3 years older than me. So that meant I must be gay, and just in the closet. He read Jamie and assumed woman, and just ignored all the times I said Jamie's a dude. And I guess he's been making comments to Danielle about how he wishes I was his type, and comparing her to me. Then while she had stepped out, aka pouting in her car, she saw us through the window groping each other. There was no groping, just me telling him that she was probably just waiting for someone to enter the bathroom so she could ask for a tampon. Literally didn't touch him at all. Also, apparently I've made passes at him before. I rub myself on him, and I've been trying to sabotage their relationship since the beginning, but she brushed it off. BC, I was just a touchy-feely gay. And apparently Charles believes that the only reason I'm dating Jamie is to make him jealous because I obviously don't have a problem with older guys. So I guess I figured out what lies they're telling, and Abby, Ben, and I wrote out a text in the group chat explaining that we don't appreciate the lies they're telling and that I will not be apologizing for a problem they're causing, and we won't be reaching out again. Update. So for anyone still interested, it's been almost 5 days since Danielle blew up on Charles at the restaurant, and things seem to have fallen apart for him. Almost everyone who originally thought I was the on Sunday and Monday seems to have changed their minds because there are, at least, 4 different stories that seem to originate from Charles and/or Danielle. Story 1. When Charles originally asked me out, I apparently flat out told him that I am gay, but he needed to keep it a secret because I didn't want my homophobic parents to find out. Apparently my 2 uni boyfriends were beards, and that's why they didn't last long. This is false for many reasons. First off, my parents aren't homophobic, and if Charles asked me out when he said he did, I no longer believe he did, and that's why I can't remember. Thank you for the commenter who made me question if it happened. There's no way I would have trusted him enough with that information. Even now I would have trusted Abby and Ben more. Story 2. I've been telling Charles that if I was to ever switch teams, he would be my first call. Apparently this is something Charles told Danielle every time she got upset when he would say stuff like, "That's not how Opie would do it," or "Opie says this is how you should do it." Apparently, he's been making comments like this in front of other PPL. Story 3. Charles and I have been sleeping together the whole time, and Danielle was the other woman who had no right to be upset. Also, Charles lied to her about not having a girlfriend. I guess people thought this because, as one of my friends pointed out, every picture we're both in, he's touching me. Like he's got an arm around my waist or over my shoulder or resting his hands on my shoulders. I never noticed until it was pointed out, but now I'm definitely creeped out. Story 4. Abby and I have been sleeping together all along, and I'm the reason Abby and her ex broke up. and that I broke them up on purpose because I'm threatened by others disturbing our group dynamic. I now also understand why she thought I was using Jamie to make Charles jealous. She thought I was using him to make Charles make a move on me so I could break them up. The homewrecker comments make more sense now, but Charles knew they broke up because Abby's ex got a job in France. Honestly, I don't know how Charles kept any of it straight. In other news, Danielle broke up with Charles apparently, not 100% sure since Abby. Ben and I still aren't talking to Charles and probably won't ever again. I've heard that she found out it's all been lies. Also, she was so worried about him cheating with me because he cheated on his ex with her. Makes sense why he always had a new girlfriend right after the breakup. He was cheating on the ex with the next. Apparently, he used the excuse that he was with Abby and I with his ex when he was meeting with her. He started saying that to her, and when she pointed out that used to be code for being with her, he said, "Well, sometimes I was with them and not you." That's what made the lies so believable. He hasn't spent any more time with us than normal, so I guess he's got a new one already. Honestly, as far as I know, a lot of my friends realized that he's creepy and manipulative and a liar. He's really exposed how much of a truly awful person he is. I still think Danielle pouring in her car and waiting for us to come out of the restaurant was a little extreme, but I think her meltdown makes more sense. Thank you for everyone for making me feel better about not wanting to apologize. I truly thought that it was me that did something wrong, but I'm glad to know I didn't.